Hi, my name is Chris. This is my 8.5 by 20-foot cargo trailer that I converted into a camper. Today we're reviewing the Turbo 13.5K inverted air conditioner. I currently have a 15K Dometic. It's worked good for years. Um, it's probably 20 years old and just not cooling good, and we're getting in these 100-degree weathers and it just can't keep up anymore. It's a little louder than normal, uh, which is expected being in a cargo trailer with low ceilings. Uh, so yeah, we're gonna install this to see how this works. Current power, it's running about a little less than 12 amps because I have a soft start on it, so that's helping quite a bit. But the cooling is just not there anymore. I just checked it full blast for the last 10 minutes, and it's just barely at 48 degrees coming out of it now. So we'll see how the new one works out. Uh, so let's get started taking this out. All right, we got the air conditioner all put in now. I've been playing around with it, testing it for a little while. It was fairly easy to put in. It took about 2 hours. I went slow. I didn't get in a hurry. Uh, I wanted to do it once and not have to go back through. Uh, Getting the bolts in was probably one of the hardest things, trying to line it up and getting it straight, getting them started. Other than that, it was pretty good. There was one wire tucked away that I had to find for the anti-freeze. Once I found it, plugged it in, everything worked fine. I've been running it on, it's been kind of cold here, so I've been running it on heat. It's done fairly well. Uh, Thermometer in the vents, it's getting to about 110 degrees, which ain't bad, so if you're in the, 50-degree weather and stuff like that, it'll be perfect for that. Get down lower, I think you're going to need some extra help. I run a diesel heater in here also, so I can run kind of both of them a little bit, kind of give each other one a break. My diesel heater turns on and off, so once it gets up to temperature, it shuts completely down. Same thing with this air conditioner, so that's a great thing. So you can kind of use a little bit of both, save a little bit of fuel, and then plus have a little bit of heat coming from the top. Air conditioning, it's not been too hot here yet, so I haven't really got to see how it does in the extreme heat. But it dropped in 10 degrees within about 30 minutes. Uh, it is a little slow, so I'm worried about it being in the 100-degree range where it might take an hour to actually cool it off and get down to temp. I would love to see more of a booster fan just to cool things off a little quicker and maybe heat things a little quicker. That would be a big benefit. And so if you're not in a big hurry, it's fine. If you get there, you plug it in, turn it on right away, go outside and set the RV up. It'll probably be cooled off enough where you're not sweating, you know. But I would think I have a feeling it's going to take a good hour to cool off in 100-degree weather. But I really hadn't had too much complaints. Power consumption is great. I think on heat, I don't think I went over 8.2 amps, and it was probably 40 degrees this morning, so that's really good. Air conditioning, like I said, it's been kind of warm, or it's been kind of cool here, so it's not really pushing it too hard. But I think I only got up to like 7.6 amps. I don't think I've seen it go over 886 watts, so less than 900 watts, which is amazing. I go to places where there's generator. I run my generator all the time. Fuel consumption is going to be tremendously better. I have a feeling that it won't even kick in. I think it'll stay at the 25%. Just running. I don't think it's going to have to speed the motor up to run this air conditioner and all my other stuff. So I was running probably about 8 gallons a day. I have a feeling I'll probably be getting down to about 3 gallons a day. So that's a huge savings on my part. Airflow, I think one reason why it does really well. Like I said, I think it's going to take longer to cool the camper off, but it's more even. With my other one, I would have colder spots and then hotter spots, depending on where he was in the camper. With this system here, it seems like it's the same temperature throughout the camper. I move my thermometer around just to see in different areas. I have an indoor-outdoor one, so I can have a 10-foot lead, so I could put it in different areas at different places and different heights, and it was pretty much staying the same. So that's really, really well. It's kind of weird that it does take temperature from the intake air, which I don't think it's quite accurate, because it's sucking, you got hotter air up there, so it's going to run longer. Or if it gets cool enough in here, it's going to start sucking up the cold air. It probably should be in the coil, in my opinion, just like a regular one would be, but who knows? We'll find out in time. The remote's been pretty good. The auto mode, I really wish you could set the temperature. Say if I want it at 75 degrees, no matter if it just stays at 75 degrees, and it's switched over to heat or air conditioning. The way it's made, it's set to a certain temperature. I think it's 77, and that's basically it. I mean, I like mine a little colder. I like to be a little warmer, so I would rather be able to actually put my temperature in and just leave it. Sound-wise, big improvement from the old one. Not a whole lot, but still it was an improvement. It's not a drowning noise. It's more just like having a fan on. So if you're used to having fans on in your house and everything, it probably won't bother you at all. But it was about 8 dB quieter than my original, which is a huge deal, especially with low ceilings, which I was not expecting too much of a difference because of the low ceilings. I have hardwood floors and, hardwood walls and ceilings, so there's not too much absorbance. So 8 dBs, that's a plus in my opinion. So it's a lot quieter. Air conditioning mode is kind of strange because you don't have the option to turn it off. It runs a fan all the time, which most mini splits do the same thing, but I wish it would slow the fan down a lot lower and go down to like a trickle mode, so that way it would be a lot quieter. The fan speeds, you really can't tell the difference in sound. I don't think I've seen but a half a dB difference between the max and the lowest setting on the fan. So it just really doesn't do too much. I would think a variable speed fan would have been better and made it where it could really just slow down to almost nothing just to keep the air moving around instead of just blasting it all the time like it does. The duct works in there. It's nice because it has front and rear. It's baffled, which is kind of a little weird. So it just kind of, whatever it hits first, that's which way it goes. So you get a lot more out of the back of the trailer than you do in the front, which in my case, it works out good because I have more. This is more located in the front of the trailer, so I'd rather have it more in the back. It has wide fins, but you only get air in the small area here and a smaller area in the front. So having these extra vents all the way across really doesn't do anything. I would rather have seen them block it off and just had one vent here and one vent here going to the front and back. It'd probably dispute better, in my opinion, which I'm a 3D printer, so I'm thinking about 3D printing a baffle to go in there to block off the rest of it and kind of just move it out, fan it out a little bit. So that way it ain't just getting stuck in there and making turbulence. I would have liked to seen some kind of control functions here. So that way, if your battery runs dead and you don't have batteries, at least you could do something with it, turn it off at least. So some kind of controls would be a lot better, even if they put them here on the side so that you can't see them. A touch or even a push button would be wonderful. I'm a little concerned about this push-pull clamping system on this middle plate. I'm worried about going down the road and hitting a bump, and it's enough to pop those latches, and this panel will fall down. So I might be looking into something to secure that in a little better. 3D print something right here that has a little tab, so you have to remove it first before you get into that panel. The intake and the output is kind of small compared to a normal one, which might not need it anymore. I mean, newer technology. I like that it has a reusable filter in it, so you can just wash it off, dry it off, put it back in, and you're ready to go again. So that's great. For the most part, though, I am very happy with it. Right now, I'm giving it 3.5 stars. When it gets summertime and it gets hotter, then we'll know for sure what it's going to be. You know, I mean, it says it's supposed to be in the 105-degree weather or whatnots, and we're going to find out, because it does get close to 100 with the heat index, 110 with the heat index around here in the summertime. So we'll find out for sure. My old one was okay, but once it got past 90 degrees, it would not keep up. So hopefully this one here will do a little better. It's supposed to get really cold here in a couple days. It's going to get down to 30, maybe a little less with the wind chill. So I'm going to actually come out here and try it, see what it does on there. I do notice that it does depend on your outside temperature. So if it's warm outside, it will not produce a whole lot inside. So the other day I was out here and it was 50 degrees, 60 degrees, 50, 60 degrees, and it was only putting out maybe 80, 80 on the temperature. But this morning it was a lot colder. It was down in the lower 40s, and it was putting out 110 degrees. So I'm assuming it goes by outside temperature too. So running the air conditioner, I can only get it down to about 50 degrees, which is not too bad. You would like to see, 40. 40 is a good spot, but it might have been because it was still 60 degrees outside. So I'm hoping when it gets hotter outside that the actual temperature will increase and get down to that 40 mark, when it gets hotter, to fix that problem. But like I said, for the biggest part, I enjoy it. So far I'm liking it. It's 45 degrees outside right now. I'm in here. It's 65 and it's comfortable. It seems like the humidity is pretty good. It keeps the humidity about even, so you don't have too much or not enough. So that's awesome. But the biggest thing is, I would say, is the power consumption. For somebody that's going to be running a generator where you're going to go, this is a plus. I mean, yes, it's a little lacking on the BTUs. I would like to have seen it at 15,000. I think that would have been a great part, but I think they were really promoting these on the Sprinter vans, so they wouldn't need that much. But a 15K version would be a lot better for the bigger stuff. But getting down to less than 900 watts, that's just amazing. I mean, 8 amps, my Dometic, I had a soft start, and I was still pulling between 12 and 14 amps with it. And this going down to less than 8 amps, that's a huge thing, because in the summertime, I like to run the air conditioner to keep it kind of cooler in here, because I do come in here and do things during the summer, as far as just even packing or just doing, fixing stuff around here, or, just trying to organize and stuff. I have a lot of stuff in here that I store in here all the time for my camping, and I don't like to get too hot in here. So I do like to run it, I like to run it, in the 80, put it around about 80 and just leave it. That way it's not running a whole bunch, but it does keep it a little bit cooler in here. So you're not melting your stuff in here, making stuff gooey, you got wiring, you got all kinds of stuff. You got window trims and, insulation stuff, just I like to keep it at a certain temperature. Wintertime is not so much. I do like to come out here every once in a while. On the weekends and usually heat it up for a little bit just to get some warmth in here, and it holds the heat pretty good in the winter. So I'm fairly well insulated, so it does really well. But I think that's going to wrap up this video. Hope this helped other people. I want to thank Turbo for sending me this. No questions asked. I submitted information of what I was looking for and the things I do, and I have a lot of friends and a lot of people that might be interested in this for their campers. We go to an RV park that only allows us to use 10 amps. So, well, it has 15 amps, but about 10 amps is about all you really want to draw. So when you got 900 campers doing the same thing, 10 amps is about all you can run. So in my opinion, you could run this a little bit here and there at this park. Nighttime would be easy because it's a lot cooler, so you can run the heater no problem. You could, if it did get really hot, you could run the air conditioning a little bit during the night. It's very quiet on the outside. I forgot to mention that. When the compressor kicks off, you almost don't even know it's running on the outside. Especially if you got people walking around, riding bikes, golf carts, you'll never even know it's on, which that's amazing. I was a little leery, speaking of sound, I was a little leery on the heat pump. My heat pumps in my house sometimes will shake the wall. They will rattle. You can literally hear them booting up. This one, no. You hear a little bit in the initial start, but it goes away really quickly. But there's no vibration in the trailer. Currently, I'm not on blocks or anything. I'm just tongue jacking the wheels on the ground. There's no stabilizers or nothing. Didn't get any vibration out of it or anything like that. So sleeping during the night, it's not going to bother you. The heat does kick. It completely kicks on and off. So that's great. So you don't hear the fan when it runs. But I wish you had the option to keep the fan on too, because you might get used to the fan running all the time, and then when you go to sleep and it kicks on and kicks off, it might start bothering you when the fan kicks on. So, like I said, I want to thank Turbo for sending me this. I appreciate it a whole lot. I know there's a lot of scams out there, They asked me to do these videos and reviews, and which I'm more than welcome to do. I mean, I am not in this to scam anybody. I didn't want this to take it and just sell it to somebody. I really wanted this to use, and I will plan on using it to good use. So, well, thank you. Appreciate your time watching the video. If you think you might be interested, you can reach out to me, reach out to Turbo. They might be, if you're looking for Turbo, you might want to look under Greenland, because that's their company name, I believe. The Turbo is just what they put on their stuff. They've been around for a long time. They've been making mini splits. So they're just now venturing into the RV market. This is non-ductless, to be aware. So if you have duct work, this will most likely not work unless you want to do modifications. The rumor is that they are working on a duct version of this. So it might be beneficial to wait if you're into that. But in my case, I was not. I don't have it. I only have 2 inches, about 3 inches thick ceiling. So it wouldn't matter to me anyway. As you can see, I'm almost 6 foot tall and there's not much headroom here. So this worked out great for me. Okay, I think that's about it. Thanks for watching and have a good day.